Come on, your ass.
Hello and welcome back to Green Street Elites and the first of a new series of the In Crowd. And tonight I'm going to bring him straight in. My guest is Steve Tiley. Steve, how are you, buddy?
All right, Budge. Good evening, mate. Thanks for letting me come on.
Oh, pleasure. I've been actually waiting for guys like you that I see in all the chats of all the other channels and stuff. You know, I've been waiting for like some of you guys to respond and come on. It'll be, you know, I want to talk to a lot more people. So anybody watching this, I'm going to find a banner and I'll have the details running across the bottom. Just give me a moment. There we go. Right. Okay. So all the details running across at the bottom of the screen are for you to contact us if you want to come on and do exactly what Steve's doing, and that's basically expose yourself as a West Ham fan and be proud.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Okay, but there is a WhatsApp number on there, everyone, and if you do try and ring it, you won't get any answer because it only takes messages or you know, voice notes. Anyway,
and apologies for the picture being a bit blurred. Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's all right. It's not a problem. You're an ugly fucker, anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say it might make me look a bit better. Do you know what I mean?
Anyway, right, let's get to it. So, Steve, tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, what trade do you do? I mean, I know you're actually out of work at the moment. You did say that to me earlier. But what do you normally do? What do you do for work normally?
I used to be in like the mailroom sector as a supervisor in the city, like until I got made redundant. Allianz Insurance, and I did it again in Basildon. Got made redundant. I've just been a lucky budge. Got made redundant 4 times in my working life. Worked at UPS, so I was always in that courier sort of mail sector.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, once you know the sector, you kind of want to stick with it, don't you? You know what I mean? You know,
and I don't drive.
Oh, you don't? No?
That's a bit of an eyesore, but never mind. But should I tell you how I become a West Ham supporter?
Well,
what it was, I was born in North London.
Hold on. Couple more questions, Steve. Couple more questions. Do you
fire away?
Do you Do you remember when you first encountered the YouTube community? Do you remember how and where you
Yeah, the West Ham YouTube, I think I might have been, I'll say about 7-8 years ago, maybe.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, I only discovered the YouTube West Ham community during lockdown, actually.
A couple of years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah, I never used to watch much on YouTube, just the occasional music video and shit, you know. But yeah, so before we get to the questions, I just want to acknowledge the people that are in the live chat. There's a few comments in here, so we'll open that up and say hello. Hello, Miss Hammerette. Thank you for joining us.
Hello there.
And Kieran, good day from Brisbane, Australia.
Jim Robinson from Neighbours.
That's the one. Yeah, or I don't know if you'd remember him, actually. You probably would. You're not far off my age, actually. Do you remember the guy that used to do Out of Town? What was he fucking?
Yeah, Jack Hargreaves.
Jack Hargreaves. That's what
Jack Hargreaves. Yeah, that's him. That's him. Jack Hargreaves. Come on. That takes me back.
Boy from all from the US. Good morning. No, it'd be good evening to you now, Charlie, wouldn't it? How
Hello,
are you,
everybody.
sir? Everyone's chatting to everyone in the chat, so I won't pop all them up. Oh, Missy says, Happy New Year. Bless you. And
Happy New Year to you.
yeah, I think we've got someone missing. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. There's more comments. Oh, yeah, look, there's loads. Who else
I'm
is
still
in here?
laughing
Happy?
about Jack Hargreaves, Budge.
Yeah, Happy's in. So two of me moderators are in here at the moment.
Oi, hey, Jake.
Yeah, Mr. Knight, KK. Hello, Steve.
All right,
How are you, sir? Nice of you to join us, buddy. And anyone else? No one else. Right. Okay. Let's get on with the questions. Right. First of all, how and when did you become a West Ham fan?
Right, I was born in North London.
Yep.
At home in Islington. Do you remember the old prefabs, Budge?
I do. Yes.
Do you remember them?
Yes. Yeah, the post-war rushed housing.
And when I was 6 in 1971, my late father, God rest his soul, took me to Arsenal against West Ham at Highbury.
Okay.
And we had the blue shirt on, with the 2 claret light hopes going round.
My favourite.
And I said to me,
my favourite.
Yeah, and I still get the flashback. I said to me, Dad, who's that? He went, that's a little team from East London. And I like the colour, and that's how it all started.
Really?
Now I've had years of suffering, mate.
Well,
yeah,
I think every West Ham fan will associate with that, definitely. Just want to mention that Anton's in the house. Good evening, Anton. Thank you for joining us. Good of you.
All right,
mate. Yeah, so started off, Dad took you to Arsenal, West Ham, and you chose West Ham over two teams. Bless you.
But the crowd was boring anyway. You know what them gooners are like.
Oh, what, at the library?
Yeah,
the library.
Yeah, that's
you know.
Yeah,
yeah. That place. Yeah.
Also, a story later. There's also a story later, Budge, I'm going to come out with, which is the gospel truth. I've been searching for these people for years. I just hope that one of them can hear this when I come out of it a bit later.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Because we will get to some of your influential moments. Let's call them that.
Loads of them.
Yeah, there's a few of mine as well, but we won't go into them tonight. Right. So yeah, you picked West Ham over Arsenal, which is obviously, that suits everybody in here. So what about your family? I mean, your dad and any other
what's
family?
weird is I've got 2 brothers, right?
Yeah.
Can you believe this? One's a Leeds supporter and one's a Liverpool supporter. Come on. My younger brother chose Liverpool. Because he saw them winning all the cups in the late 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? Yeah, glory. And I don't know why my older brother picked Leeds. I ain't got a clue.
Yeah. Yes, Keith, we will be chatting soon, Mucker. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. I don't know if you know anything about Keith. He's an ex FA referee. So
okay.
Yeah, and he's a staunch West Ham fan. So yeah, and he also has a big interest in collecting. He's a collector of what we call it, retro and more recent than retro, I suppose. Like toys. I know it sounds weird, but it's not. It's like, I mean, you should see his collection. It's fucking impressive.
Just before we carry on, do you remember between me and you the private message earlier on about my relative? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, I messaged him today. I'm phoning him tomorrow evening. I'm going to ask him about coming on. Might only be for 20 minutes, half an hour.
Bless you, mate. That is awesome.
I'm sure there's loads of people in the chat will know him as well, but I won't name him yet.
No. Yeah. We'll do that later. Toys. Toys. Look, our friend Robert Singleton Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Right, next
Evening, fella.
question then. Right,
Yep.
so how old were you when your dad took you to the Arsenal West Ham game?
6, 1971. Yeah.
Right. So when did you start going to West Ham games?
Well, you're going to laugh at this. I know times were different. I was actually kept in by my parents for a few weeks because I sneaked over to Upton Park on my own as an 8-year-old.
Oh,
And
shit.
I went to Birmingham. Remember the old Intercity 125s, whatever they was
Oh
called?
gosh, yeah.
Don't quote me, but I think I've got the date right. I went up to Birmingham on my own as a 10-year-old in 1975 when Trevor Francis opened the scoring. We beat them 5-1 at St Andrews. I went all on my own, Budge, and I sat with blokes of 20 and 30, and I had a few bevies.
Oh my gosh.
And I got back to my mum and dad's in Dagenham about 11:30 at night, and boy, was my old man, did he have the ump.
I would imagine he did. Bloody hell.
So that was a good story. That was a brilliant day.
I mean, I thought I was brave getting up there at like 13. I mean, I live down by Gatwick Airport, so it's like it's always over an hour and a half journey from mine to the ground. It always has been, even when we were at Upton Park. And I went up there at about 13 with a couple of lads I knew at school that were both West Ham fans. Yeah, I came home. It was a midweek evening game. I think we were playing Millwall, actually.
I've got a story about that as well.
Yeah, I think it was a Millwall game. And when I got home, my dad asked me where I'd been, obviously. And I told him, and I said I'd been to West Ham versus Millwall. He went fucking ballistic. He's like, don't you know the danger you've put yourself in and all that? But yeah, all right, Dad. But it was his fault that I became a West Ham fan, so he can't blame no one but himself for that, really. But anyway, so you started buggering off out at 8 years old to go to games. Yeah. Love that.
But then also, what it was, I've got a cousin, Barry, who's 10 years older than me, and I used to lie and say that because he used to take me to the odd games as well. He was like, when I was 10, he was 20. And do you remember in the old North Bank or South Bank, I'm not sure what one it was, or both of them had them, there used to be toilets in there in the middle, like a brick white wall. And I remember against Arsenal, 1-0, Graham Padden, 30-yarder, right? My cousin and all these other blokes, Budge, they all lifted me up so I could sit on this wall and watch the whole game.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I think that wall might have been in the South Bank. I think.
Yeah, probably. I think they had one both ends, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was both ends.
They removed them, obviously, when they started expanding the stadium and that. But, I do kind of remember them toilets, actually. Yeah. I've got a funny story about toilets, but we'll go into that another day. So you started going to games when you were sort of 8 or 9 and then onwards, obviously. Do you remember when you kind of remember the first game when you sneaked off out at 8 years old and went to the game? Do you remember much about the day? I mean, or is it a distant memory now?
It's a distant memory. All I remember, I think it was Manchester City 1-0, Frank Lampard 30-yarder, as I recall. Something like that.
Yep.
And I was just like a little 8-year-old, all these crowds and that, you're thinking this is paradise. Do you know what I mean? So I can vaguely. And then obviously when I was going, Budge, it was 50p to get in. Yeah. So obviously whenever I got pocket money, that's where I was going. End of story.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was fortunate enough that I had family living around the corner from the stadium, so we used to travel up to them summer holidays, spend a couple of weeks in London. Great holiday, you know what I mean? But at least I got a chance to go and, watch the games. In fact, my uncle used to run, he was the caretaker for the Wanstead Flats playing fields in Forest Gate. And quite often the first team would train over there, and It was quite weird because, as a 8-9-year-old kid seeing Jeff Hurst running past your uncle's front door was a bit weird. You know what I mean? He was my hero back then. I fucking loved him. Keith says his first game was Fiorentina at Upton Park. We lost 1-0, so the Euro Cup win was revenge. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we lost both legs. Lost both legs 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Early Doors Football TV evening, Budgie. That's Tony, I believe. Good evening to you, sir.
Evening, mate.
Happy was first game was Luton at Upton Park.
What was that? What was that, Happy? In the 20s? I'm only joking. She's going to kill me for that.
76. He was 8 years old and he cried because we lost. Oh, bless you, mate. Bless you. Missy says, right, I'm so sorry, and I promised to watch back over at the weekend, but I need to get some shot eye. Nighty night. Take care, Budgie, Steve, Kieran, and everybody else. Thank you for joining us, Missy. Really appreciated. Really appreciated. Right, okay. And Keith says, yep, that's right. Lost both legs, 1-0.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right, okay. So, who was your first West Ham hero?
Trevor Brooking. Well, Brooking or Bonds, out of them two. Yeah.
Difficult choice, isn't it, between them two? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonds,
but my all-time favourite is Alan Devonshire. That's my all-time favourite.
Is he? Is he? That's great. I love that.
I actually got to meet him. I actually got to meet him as well, which is good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah. Happy says Moyes is nominated for Manager of the Month. Not too shabby. Well, guys and girls in the chat, please give him a vote if you know how, because it'd be nice to have him as the Manager of the Month, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? It really would. Yeah, right. So. Your first hero was Trevor Brook. Oh, lovely. Thank you, son. Nice cup of coffee. Love that.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah, Trevor Brooklyn. So, do you remember first goal you saw him score?
Cool. Now you're asking me.
Oh, no.
No, I can't recollect the actual first one. No,
no problem. No problem. Like I said, it's many moons ago, and distant memories can't always recollect them. Yeah. Okay, so then, so we moved on. You're now, 15, 16, going regularly.
Well, before that, Budge, I was 12 when I went to my best ever game that 11. I will never ever forget, ever.
Let's hear about it. Come on, let's have it.
It was Eintracht Frankfurt 1976 Winners' Cup semi-final, Brooking 2 and Keith Robson. And there was over 40-odd thousand, easy, 42,000, as in pissing down the rain. I will never, ever forget that night. And that's the night, my best ever. Best ever.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's when I was queuing to get up in the North Bank, and my feet were actually off the floor. Like you was being dragged towards a turnstile. 10, yeah, good cup. Yeah, that's my favourite ever game. And
there's a gentleman in the chat who sent me this. Irons United, that might give you a clue.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Good old Anton.
So that was my best ever game.
Yeah, he actually, in fact, he didn't send me that. He brought that down from Scotland with another one for myself and for Happy Amret, actually. I can't even remember which one you had, Happy. Remind me. Tell me in the chat which one you had.
And I was 10, Budge. I was 10 when I went to the Fulham final. I was 10.
Yeah.
And then I was 15 at the Arsenal final as well.
Well, I was 18.
So I'm lucky enough to see two FA Cup wins.
Yeah, me too, mate. I mean, I was born in 62, so I was just a little bit older than you. I was 12 when we won the 13 when we won the
3 years, because my birthday's a couple of weeks, so the same as yours, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. A couple of days before my boy, actually. Kieran says that was his favourite game too. Unreal atmosphere. Kieran used to live in Upton Park. He used to live literally, he could basically spit on the stadium from where he lived, and told me stories of being on garage roofs and watching over the wall watch the games and stuff like that. Brilliant.
Spot
Love all
on,
them
spot
kind of
on,
stories.
spot on, Mr. Hargreaves.
One of these days, I'm going to have that theme tune, and I'm going to play it when I introduce him on.
Do you know who else? Do you know who else he looks like? If he there was longer, Cat Weasel.
I think he's probably going to get the ump in a minute. He loves it. He loves a bit of banter. Loves a bit of banter. Okay, so moving on then. So as you were growing up, getting older, obviously women started playing a role in your life and so on and so forth, working, etc., etc. Did you ever have a time when you was unable to go to games because of, you know, family commitments or whatever, you know?
Really, I mean, if I was lucky enough to pull a bird budge, I'd take them with me. Sometimes, not all the time. Not to away games anyway.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
But the characters I've met over there over the years, do you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Peanuts, remember him? Peanuts. Mr. Peanut Man.
Yeah. Trevor's goal in the 1980 final in the 13th minute. That was the longest 77 minutes of football ever. It was. Keith was too young to drink, but made up for it in later life. I don't doubt that for 1 minute. Kieran's laughing. Happy says, showing your age here, chaps. Yeah, well, we are old. You know, that's
old school. Old school.
That's why I do old school hammers with Kieran, because we're old. We're just, yeah, we're old bastards. That's it, mate.
But we're still kicking though, Budge. We're still kicking, mate.
Oh yeah, mate. Still fighting the good fight. That's all that matters, mate. That's all that matters. All right. Well, look. Before I go on to, you know, some other more detailed questions, let me ask you about just, you know, any little stories you might want to share before I ask
one story.
You.
Yeah, the one story, I don't know if anybody's out there, is the 1981 League Cup final against Liverpool at Wembley.
Yeah.
When me and a load of mates had no tickets and we was all outside, and at extra time, they let us all in for nothing. So we saw both goals. I had a clear view of Tonka Stewart penalty. And I've never met, there was loads of people out there, a couple of hundred at least where I was, but I've never been able to get into contact with anyone that was in that crowd that got in for the extra time for nothing. So if there's anyone out there that was in that crowd, get in touch.
Yeah, mate. And you can get in touch with the details running across the bottom of the screen. Come and tell your story. Come and tell your story.
That was a good one.
Yes.
Millwall away in 1989 when Paul Ince got the win. I've never been to Millwall before.
Right, yeah.
There was me, my cousin, a couple of mates in the car. We followed this claret and blue Fiesta, thinking it was West Ham supporters, right, Budge? And I used to have this mate called Porky who could handle himself. We're walking in this underground tunnel. There's four of us in the middle of all the Millwall fans, and he went, I'm going to shout out Irons. I went, keep your mouth shut, mate. We was like Custer at the Battle of Bighorn, mate. You know what I mean? And that was the day that Millwall was. Oh, I went into the toilet. Yeah. This bloke was in all tattooed up. He went, all right, mate. Like West Ham fan. I went, all right, fella, how's it going? I was like 22 or whatever then. And he went, I've been fucking waiting for this for years. This is war. That's how he went. So.
Yeah. I'm not so sure it would be quite like that today because obviously, you know.
But we never planned, do we?
No. But if we were to, I mean, there's cameras everywhere. There's fucking 10 policemen to every fan, I reckon. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So Keith says he always hated Sammy Lee after that game.
Yeah, he got in the way of Phil Parkes, didn't
he? Yeah. Rob says, remember before the age of the internet, buying a program, looking at the letters behind the goals on the wall.
Yeah, ABC. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, for the halftime scores.
That's it, mate. That's it. We used to love all that. Yeah. So, where were you living then? Like when you were growing up, sort of in your 20s, early 20s, and stuff.
I was with
in London, or?
No, in Dagenham, and then obviously got married, although that went tits up. Lived in Stanford-le-Hope. Then I've lived up in Wales. I come back from Wales 2 years ago. that was another failed relationship, Bud. You know what I mean? Some you win, some you lose. So I'm
I
temporary.
can't say the first bit. Some you lose. That's it, mate. I ain't won yet.
I'm temporary. I'm temporary back in Dagenham at the moment, even though I don't like it here. But such is life.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Dagenham ain't such a bad place, you know. I mean, all right, it's not, you know, it's not Epsom or fucking, you know, Windsor or anything like that. I know, but
you know what's funny? I'll spend a lot of time down
full of decent people. That much for sure.
I spend a lot of time down in Dawlish, South Devon, and when we played Blackpool in the playoff final, I didn't know we was going to get to the final. I'd already booked the holiday with the ex-wife and the kids, so I couldn't get out of it. At the pub, I got barred out of the village pub because I just went mental. So that was a funny day. Yeah, look, Millwall was fun.
89. Yeah, he was wearing shiny black boots by then. Laced up to the shin, yeah? Laced up to the shin. You should start drawing a few, Steve.
Drawing
a few what?
Yeah, a few what? But another thing. You say about laces. I used to have the old 18 steel toe boots with the red laces, right? We was going in Stamford Bridge, second division title against Chelsea. Still remember it, 1-0, Graham Wilkins own goal. And as we're going in, the coppers are saying, take the laces out of the boots. And I was in the last year of school. And all of a sudden, who comes around the corner? The headmaster of my school in Dagenham. Right. And when we went in on the Monday morning, he went, I want to see you in the office. When he went, that was brilliant, seeing you outside getting your laces taken out. So that was good.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Tony. Thanks for dropping a like and showing support. Bless you, mate. Appreciated. Everyone's saying goodbye. Shiny boots and a shiny uniform. Gotcha. He was the one asking you to take your laces out, basically.
Cheers, Keith.
Well, not
I ain't talking no more.
No. No, he's a decent fella, mate. I've spoken to him on a number of occasions.
Yeah, I speak to him on other platforms and stuff.
He ain't like, you know, like you would expect an ex-officer to be. He's completely different to what you would expect, you know. And when he comes on and does his in crowd, everybody out there will see it. He is a funny guy. I got to be honest, he really is. Keith Gimp Mask.
Keith Mask.
She does this all the time. Shiny boots.
She's very naughty, isn't she?
She is. She's brilliant. We always looked after our own at football. Exactly. And that's what he said, you know, he always tried to you know, give allowances to the Hammers fans, you know. He was part of the you know, the accredited, I don't know what the fucking name of it was now, it slips my mind, but you know, he was part of the task force that dealt with football hooliganism and all that.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
But like I said, you know, such a nice guy.
No, my laces back, Keith.
He wore a West Ham shirt under his uniform at every game. A few of them did. Nice. I like that. Yeah,
that's good.
I like that.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. He put shirt that should be. I didn't read that properly. Look, wore West Ham shit. See, that's what I mean. It makes me giggle. It makes me fucking giggle. Right. Okay. So we've gone through your favourite game. We've gone through your first game. Now let's go to the worst game that you ever went to.
The worst game I ever went to was Oldham away, 6-0. In the, was it called the Milk Cup then, or the Littlewoods Cup or something, semi-final?
I remember. Yeah, it was Littlewoods Cup back then, yeah. Yeah, it was.
I'm not sure if they called it St. Valentine's Day Massacre. I'm sure it might have been on Valentine's Day. I'm not sure
that was, yeah, I think you're right. I think that was what the papers labelled it as, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, fucking
And
horrible game.
another one that's up there with it, I went to Plainmore, Torquay away in '79 when we lost 1-0. Kenny Irons, the Torquay scorer. I still remember that. Torquay 1-0.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
but that was good. That was good to get down Devon and go on the piss stage. I think at 15.
Yeah, mate, I love all that sort of stuff. So, let me think. Let me think now. How many games do you think you might have been to?
I've lost count. I did say to you earlier, I ain't been for a couple of years, not just for
Yeah.
lack of funds. I just can't get on with a new place, but just me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the match day
I understand.
experience compared to Upton Park is a joke. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
everything about
But,
it.
you
I mean,
know,
when I
I
used
mean,
to come,
I've
when I
got,
used to go, when I used to go to Upton Park, my ritual was I'd pop in the Queen's for a couple of beers, yeah. Then I'd
Yeah.
go in Ken's Cafe, have a bit of munch, and then
yeah,
pop round the Central Hotel, and then pop in the Supporters Club at Castle Street, and don't leave there till 5 to 3. That was a brilliant day. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
when I used
mean,
to take
my
my eldest,
ritual was very similar, but it was always either the Queen's or the bowling. But then that was
Mm.
because I was an out-of-towner, you know,
yeah,
and, you know, the reputation of those two pubs was always that it was staunch West Ham, and if you want the experience, that's where you go. So that's why
yeah,
I started going to the Queen's and then the bowling. Met a few of the, you know, well-known faces in these places, and didn't even
yeah,
fucking realise it, you know? Um, you know, I mean, I know for a fact that I was stood not too far away from a few, I won't name them because, you know, I might embarrass them, but I was stood a few feet away from a couple of well-known lads, and it all kicked off. I was probably about 14 15 at the time, and it all kicked off in the pub for some reason. I don't know why, but there was a bit of trouble in the pub.
right,
I think it was like one fan, I think it was, and he was a West Ham fan, you know, and I think he was picking on the bird behind the bar, actually. And one of these lads told him to behave himself, and it got verbal, then it got physical, and then it went mental. There was probably about a dozen blokes throwing punches and stuff. And one of the lads that was quite well known grabbed hold of me and he went, "Oi, you're just a lad. Get over there and stay safe." I was like, "No, I'm all right, mate. Don't worry, I'm fine." He's like, "No, you fucking ain't. Get over there, or else I'm going to drag you over there, boy." I'm like, "All right, okay." You know, and that's what it was always like. You know, I mean, when you know, it was an unknown face and he, quite a young face, you know, they used to look after you. As long as you're a West Ham fan, mate,
yeah,
all them boys looked after you, you know. And they even
yeah.
walked me to the ground because of it, you know. I walked to the ground with about a dozen fellas that I'd never met before, you know. I just knew
I used to
one or
love,
two of them.
I used to love the
were.
crowd over at Upton Park when I first started going. You know,
Yeah, yeah. But, you know, you
I
were
don't know if you
saying you
remember,
can't get on with the new stadium. Sorry, mate, what?
yeah. No, I had I had trouble in there when it first opened against Man City. I took my 4 kids and the ex-wife to a game, and
Yeah,
as you know, when you're attacking your end where you're sitting, it's
yeah,
instinct to get out the seat, yeah, because they're coming forward. And I had
yeah.
2 Herberts behind me who were clearly tourists, and they said to me, "Do you mind, in a snotty way, can you sit down and not stand up again?" So my oldest daughter's looked at me and gone, "That's the wrong thing to say to my dad." And I'm not a troublemaker. And then they kept on and on. And in the end, I just said, "Look, if you don't shut your mouth, mate, I'm going to do the pair of you." I just lost it. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
mm.
yeah,
And the
yeah. I
steward,
mean,
the stewarding as well.
yeah. I mean, oh,
It's
fucking hell,
terrible.
the stewarding at the London Stadium is terrible. It's dire. It's dire. I mean, not one of them could probably name 2 players out of the squad. You know what I mean? They ain't at all interested in football or West Ham or whatever. You know, and you know, I've asked people before. I've asked stewards there before. You know, "Oh, you know, how long have you been working here?" And they go, "Oh, it's only my 2nd time." I go, "Oh, what, you're local,
Yeah,
Dad, are you?" "No, no, no, I'm from Epping or whatever," you know what I mean? And like there was one guy, he was like from, I think he said he lived somewhere up near Tottenham anyway. And I said, "Oh, what? So you a Tottenham fan then?" He was like, and I went, "All right, mate, I ain't gonna have a go at you. You know what I mean? I'm just asking, you know." And he was like,
There's a steward, Budge. There's a steward that used to be Upton Park. You'll probably know her. I won't embarrass her by giving her last name. Her name's Jacqueline. Don't know if you know her, right?
"No,
But when I had my boy there one day against Everton, which is a good story I've got to tell you about David Gold. She brought all the players over at the bottom of the old Bobby Moore stand, which was the old South Bank. Brought them all over individually so my boy could meet them. So Jackie, thanks for that. I never forgot that. And
oh, God bless her."
I actually, Budge, had death threats from West Ham fans personally. Yeah, when I told you I had that Twitter account.
Yeah.
I'm not a big head. I'm not flashing anyway, but I had about 26,000 followers, and I had level 42 in my band. They followed me on there. A few actors and actresses. I'm only a normal bloke putting jokes in football, but they followed me. So, and then what it was, I called David Gold out on Twitter, and me and my boy got invited to the ballroom at Upton Park in the last home game against Everton. So I met him, had a little discussion with him, and people was like, "Yeah, what gives you the right to meet David Gold?" Well, I asked to meet him, and I got an invite. So I came off Twitter because of all the threats and shit. And then at the end of the meeting, he went, "Enjoy the game." Now, my boy Steve was only 15. He went, "Enjoy the game." I said, "I ain't got tickets, Mr. Gold, right?" And I said, "I haven't met you to get a free ticket. I'm going back in the supporters club to watch it." So he turned around to his PA and he went, "Let Steve in." She went, "Sorry, Mr. Chairman, there's no room." Now, if I was Beckham and Brooklyn, they would have got me a stall, right, to get in. And then he said, "We'll stay in contact with my PA. Here's the email address, and you can have a game of your choice next season." So what I did, when next August come round, I didn't go straight on it. I left it 3 or 4 months. Emailed her, I can't remember her name. She said, "I've got no recollection of you ever meeting the chairman." And I've still got the pictures. I'll send them to you, Budge. I've still got the pictures of me and my boy in the ballroom with Gold. Sent them to her. Didn't get nothing. Nothing.
No. Actually, I used to work for a guy, and you know, I'm a plasterer and a decorator, and we went to this house. I can't even remember where it was now. It's somewhere in Sussex, anyway. You know, somewhere I can't even remember where it was now. And we were doing this extension in this house, and I was just decorating it. And then on the last day, this young girl came over to me, probably, I don't know, in her early 20s. And apparently she was David Gold's niece. And it was his house that we were working on. Never met him.
Right.
But you know, we were working on his house. And, you know, she kind of explained to me who he was. And I was like, "Oh, really?" You know, and I'm a West Ham fan. And, you know, she's like, "Oh, well, I'll see if I can get you some, you know, signed pictures or something," which was really nice of her to offer. And I said, "Well, the thing is, we're finishing tonight, and that's it. We won't be back." And she was like, "Oh, you know, give me your address and I'll send you something." She never did, but, you know, the thought was there. It was nice, you know, but...
yeah, but you should have told her, you should have told you was an Ann Summers regular. You would have got a ticket then. But I've got a good story as well, Budge, and I'll send you the pictures of Martin Peters. Yeah, when I worked at Allianz,
one of my all-time favourites, by the way.
Well, there was a girl there called Hannah, and she never mentioned it in the 5 years I worked with her. And I was at a game outside, just getting in at Upton Park, and she spotted me in the crowd. My boy, she went, "Hello, Steve." She said, "Would you like to meet my granddad?" I went, "Well, yeah." Well, it was only Martin Peters, and he come over and got a lovely picture of me and my Steve with him. She never ever mentioned that. She never ever mentioned that at work. She knew I was staunch West Ham. But what a surprise! "Do you want to meet my granddad?" And he come over. You know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Yeah. Rob says he used to work as a steward for a season. Best and easiest job he ever had. My job was to put the shutters down on the bar at after half time. The rest of the time I'd watch the game. I was in the Bobby Moore. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Was that at the London Stadium or Upton Park, Rob? Let me know.
Budge, do you remember the food and the drink outlets in the North Bank and that right in the right-hand corner years ago? Used to have the drink out, was right in the corner. Refreshment beer in there as well. Beer,
do you know what?
Pies and all that.
Yes, I kind of vaguely remember it, but most of the time when I was in the stadium, I was hammered. Anyway, you know, I mean, like you get in fucking bowling or in the Queens or whatever, and then you just get into a round, and then like there's 8 or 9 of you in a round, and then when everybody's done a round, I'm staggering. You know, like, you know, I mean, I used to go up there with like 2 lads from Crawley, maybe 3 at the most, and most times anyway. But yeah, we always used to meet up with lads that we knew. But I stopped going.
Do you remember? Do you remember a character called Billy Bunter?
Yes, I know. Well, I remember, you know, talk of him. I don't know if I ever actually.
Do you remember what he used to do, Budge? Do you remember what he used to do at the games? Which was hilarious. What he used to do, he used to get into the ground.
The name rings a bell, eh?
He used to get into the ground, and he loved being taken out with his arm behind his back, even before kickoff. So everyone started singing Billy Bunter, and he used to wait for the crowd, but he used to do it every fucking home game. Class.
He wanted to get his face on the front page of the bloody Sun, didn't he?
And do you remember Quasi? Remember Quasimodo, the program seller? Quasi, give us a wave. Do you remember him?
Yeah. I do.
And he looked like him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Quasimodo. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Earlier on, you mentioned that you know you can't get on with the London Stadium, etc. And I do understand that completely. But I stopped going to games around about 1985, 86 because you know marital commitments. My ex wasn't a football fan in any way, shape or form. Kids were on the way, etc., etc. And I stopped going in sort of 85, 86. And then I didn't go until just after lockdown.
Right.
So only a couple of 3 years ago, I didn't sort of start going back. And that I weren't even intending on coming back as a, you know, in-stadium fan. I've always been like an armchair fan since the mid-80s, you know. But this young lady here,
here she is again,
helped me to get to my first game, which was, I believe, Crystal Palace, and we drew 2-2. That was when Conor Gallagher got 2 goals in the first half, and then we drew.
4 nails and Antonio for us, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah. Marital strangulation is more rap, Budge. Yeah.
Well, do you know what, Budgie? I've been married once bitten, twice shy, never again, mate.
I've been married
Never
twice.
again.
I've been married twice, mate. I didn't have kids with my first wife. Split up with her after about 2 years, I think. Mainly because she was banging my best mate. But anyway.
That's reason enough, isn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, my second was a very similar story, but I had 2 kids and 2 adopted kids with her, and yeah, I wouldn't change that for the world, I've got to be honest.
But I brought all my kids up. Both my daughters and my 2 sons are all West Ham. So
yeah.
You know.
Well, to be fair, my ex, my recent ex, if you like, my ex-wife, she was a Chelsea fan, very much like both of my brothers and my sister is. It was only me, my mum and dad that were West Ham fans in the family. And so my kids followed their mum and my brother and my sister and that, and started supporting Chelsea. And I've had no say in it ever since, you know. And I've been trying to. I mean, I've got photographs of my kids in West Ham shirts, you know. But nah, mate, they're not interested in West Ham.
But look at that comment. Look at that comment she's put.
I know. Yeah, that's why I've left it up there. I've left it up there just in case anybody watching this in the future, you know, wants to offer.
What I made a point of doing is when Dean Ashton made his debut in a 3-0 home win against Birmingham, my Steve was 6. So I took him as a 6-year-old, like my dad did with me. And I got interviewed outside by Sky Sports about the death of Ron Greenwood. And I've never seen the interview. I've never seen the interview that I did, but I've got my boy in the West Side. You can see little Stevie there as a 6-year-old jumping up when Dean Ashton, because Ashton actually scored on his debut. which was good.
No. I got interviewed by somebody at the Carpenters actually about 3 weeks ago, and I said to him, like, you know, who are you doing the interview for? And they were like, oh, the Premier League. And I was like, yeah, but who? I mean, like, is it Sky Sports or, you know, BT or what? They didn't answer. They just said, oh, Premier League. And you know, I can't find that fucking interview anywhere. And they interviewed another guy who gets in now. You've been to the Carpenters, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So there's a
Quite a few
regular that
times,
gets in now, and he always wears a claret and blue trilby hat. He's not a very tall guy, but he's quite well known in the pub. Yeah. I've probably got a photograph of him somewhere on the computer, but I'm not going to bother trying to look.
But how do you find the match day experience there, though?
Well, I've got to be honest with you. I was going to say to you, when Happy persuaded me to come, and let's be fair, at the time I was suffering big time with, you know, mental health problems, and fair play to her. She said to me, I'll just phone you up and talk to you all the way up on the train, because I was nervous about getting on the train. The last time I was on the train, when it came to football, I was on the train with a broken nose, you know, fractured cheekbone, and, you know, stitches in my fucking arm. So I was a bit nervous about getting on a train, you know, but she talked me through it, you know, and spoke to me all the way up there. And, you know, we were talking to each other when I got off the train, and like when we sort of first met, you know, it was brilliant. And then she took me to the Carpenters and then onto the stadium and so on and so forth. And I've got to be honest with you, I love the experience. I love it. It's nowhere near as good as it was when we were up Upton Park.
No.
But it's a fantastic experience nonetheless. And, you know, you've got to make the whole day a part of the experience. It's not just about being in the stadium and watching Moyes ball at the moment, but it's about, you know, the other fans. It's about being in the pub and being recognised by 70% of the clientele in the pub and that. And to me, it's great because, you know, I mean, I walk through that pub and, you know, you can't go 3 or 4 places without someone going, oh, hello, mate, how are you? And I love it.
Yeah, it's nice,
love it.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I even had one time we went, I can't even remember what game it was now. I do believe it was Everton. I can't remember exactly now, but we were in the supporters club, which was at the last drop, which is that bit just by the Helter Skelter thing. You know, it was in that little section there. And we was in there, and I went down to the toilets, and some young kid, he was probably about, 14 or something, walked, oh, you're Budgie, aren't you? I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I watch you all the time. I was like, well, I'm not on all the time, but I know what you mean. And it was like really weird that he recognised me, you know. It was like, I loved it.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure I will go over there again, but at the moment as well, like lack of funds and that, but I'm sure I will visit again some point.
Yeah. Well, make sure you let me know when you are coming, because me and you.
Yeah, I will have a beer.
Yeah, definite.
Well, I said
if you're only in Dagenham, I was going to say, if you're only in Dagenham, I'm in East London quite a lot. As I said, I've got family up there and that. So, you know, I'll give you a bell. We'll get together and we'll have a couple of drugs, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Happy. I love you. Thank you. Bless you. I'm glad you've got.
I said to her ages ago on Facebook, I said, when I go back over, I'd meet up with her and have a pint and that, you know?
Definitely. And, you know, I mean, like, a lot of people question going to the Carpenters. They say, oh, you know, it's manic, you can't breathe, you can't move, you can't get to the bar, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, it's not about that. It's about applying yourself to doing these things. I mean, I can get to the bar. Why can't you?
We know how to get to the bar.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You just put your hand on someone's shoulder and just, excuse me, mate, can I get to the bar? Yeah, of course you can.
Do you remember the old days, mate? Yeah. When you was in a packed pub, you wanted to get to the ramp. Now it's a lot of it your pound card. I used to, when I had a tenner or a fiver in my hand, I'd put my arm over the bar so they can see the money that you're waiting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and these days they'll ignore you. Now, if you're holding your card or cash up, they just fucking ignore you. That's why I just stand next to this fella Dean, who always stands by the bar next to the fruit machine. Big lad, nice guy. Met him in Tenerife in March last year, and of all places, met him in Tenerife, in Joyce's bar. Great pub. By the way, any West Ham fans, if you're ever in Tenerife, get down to Joyce's bar. Anyone on the island will tell you where it is, and it's West Ham. In fact, Andy Swallow owns it. So,
right,
you know, yeah. So, you know, it's staunch West Ham. I mean, we were actually watching an England game there because it was during the Euros. I don't know. Anyway, but World it was Cup. An England game. Yeah, it could have been World Cup last year.
What was your I'll let you go first, and I'll say mine after. What was your favourite part of Upton Park in the stadium to watch a game?
Got to be the chicken run.
Well, mine years ago was we had the old song. We're not the North Bank, we're not the South Bank, we're the West Side. Upton Park, in that corner by the South Bank. And then when they started knocking it about to put the seats in, there was a little section. I think you could get about 300 people in there, and everyone wanted to get in there. So you get there about an hour and a half before the turnstiles just to get in that little bit in that West Side. Loved it in there.
Yeah. A lot of people giving some love to Dagenham. Look, Rob Singleton, when he got married, he lived in Porters Avenue.
Yeah, I know Porters Avenue. Yeah.
Oh, I don't, unfortunately.
It's like everywhere else. Places change in time. Yeah, I know that as well.
Yeah, Steve used to work out of Dagenham when he was. Keith used to work out of Dagenham when he was a law enforcement officer. Let's call him. Yeah.
Where was that, Keith? Was that Keith? Was that Dagenham East? I think he might have worked out of Dagenham East. Yeah.
Possibly. He'll let us know in a minute. Right. Okay. Moving on. Current squad. Who's your favourite player?
Well, for me, I love little Kudus. We're going to miss him so much.
Yeah, he's still in this country. You know, he hasn't flown out to Ghana yet, or to meet up with the Ghana team.
Yeah, but I don't agree with people when they say we've got a good squad, Budge. We haven't. Not strength in depth.
We've got the starting of a good squad. We've got a great starting 11 and possibly 2 or 3 others that would fit in. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we need at least another 5 or 6
I'm
decent.
Not a big, like Happy has seen me put it about it in the comments. I'm not a big Antonio fan. I'm just not. To me, he's done.
Yeah.
And there was a fellow, I think it was on West Ham Fan TV Friday Night Pint the other week, he was in the comments. Oh yeah, let's have Antonio back and have his brilliant start to what he had this season. But if you recollect it, in the first 11 games, he only got 2 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
fortunate enough to see one of them as well, the one that he scored at Brighton away. And that was my first away game since 1984. So, you know, you can imagine I was proper excited. Loved it.
I mean, we got the oldest squad in the Prem, or second. They'll be calling the Stag's Army.
I think it's the second oldest. I think, is it?
I've heard they're going to give Ogbonna another year. I mean, I love the geezer, but he's, you know, I know he's played well last 2 games, but you can't be like, what's he going to be next year? 35?
Yeah. 34, 35, something like that. Yeah. Oh, look, somebody else has just arrived. Ginger and a Carol.
It's my old mate, General Custer, as I call him. Right, General.
I did an in-crowd with him about a month ago, I think it was now. Yeah.
Well, I did a show with him, Ginger. I did a show with him in the Bowling with Jazz off West Ham Lions channel.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Dagenham Nick. Yeah, we done a show in the Bowling, I think it was about a year and a half ago, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy says, great starting 11, great keeper. Outside of that, the rest is meh. I don't know. I mean, look, I still think Fornals has got a lot to offer. I mean, I know that's probably not very popular in the chat, and it won't be popular with people to watch this, later on catch up or whatever. But I think Pablo's still got a lot to offer this club. I mean, his heart is here, and here is in his heart. It's just, I don't want him to go, because I think he's just such a good player to have around. I mean, he's not necessarily a starter anymore, but I think he's a fantastic squad player.
Did you go to the Brighton game, Budge? Did you go to the Brighton game?
Yeah, the other day?
I mean, what is it? What is it with Maxwell Cornet? You just don't like him, does he? That was screaming out for him that second half.
Oh, God. Do you know what I think? I think there's probably been half a dozen games this year we could have used him. I really do. I mean, that game against Liverpool in the whatever.
Oh, that cup game.
Yeah. I think if we'd have had him, things may have been slightly different.
Yeah.
Ben Ramos. Corn Beef City was their nickname for Dagenham.
That's it. That's it, Mr. Hargreaves. You got it, son. Well done, Jack. That's it. Do you know why they called it Corn Beef City? Because of the roofs of the houses. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Happy says 4-0 sentiment gets in the way with him, in my opinion. Yeah, it does. It does. But I love him. I just love him. Helen.
She's still missing Lanzini.
Oh, God, yeah. But she's got her eyes on Mavropanos now, hasn't she?
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I'll wind her up with that one in the group. Don't worry about that. Evening, Helen. How are you? Yeah, I'll wind her up about that one.
Yeah, babe. You haven't missed a great deal, because we've only been going for an hour. But watch it on rewind later, babe.
You know how else she's after, Budge, didn't you? Did you see what she put earlier on about Edwards, the Luton manager? Did you see it?
Yeah.
In the group?
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah. She's got her eye on him and all. That rare muscle injury is so unknown. We ain't risking it, and we're going to sell him as soon as possible, in my opinion.
Yeah, but no one's going to buy him, though. Yeah, no one to buy him. No one, like Everton was offered him. They wouldn't take the risk last year. So if we do sell him, we get about 5 million if we're lucky.
Yeah, we'll probably have to sell him to someone like, I don't know, Transabor or fucking Astragugu or someone. Do you know what I mean? Someone who don't know who he is, and they just have a look at his, Burnley reels.
Stalwart Bucharest, someone like that. Yeah.
There you go. Look.
What's she say?
Mavs. Here it is. Look, she do like him. The Dagenham.
That's it, Keith.
Yeah, Rob Edwards. Clearly you would.
That's it. Rob Edwards.
Yeah, no one will buy him if he breaks again. Moyes ain't risking it. Well, yeah, there's that. There is that. But, oh, God, stop giving him fucking 3 minutes. That's what I say. Give him an hour, half an hour. He'd be able to do something in that time. He can't do.
Well, I thought you'd have got more time after setting up that goal against Bacca Topola. You remember?
That was beautiful, wasn't it? That was beautiful.
Yeah.
In fact, that game, that was the game that I've got contact with one of our ex-players. I'm not going to drop a name because I'll start getting called Adam Frankel. But one of our ex-goalkeepers, Canadian fella, and his daughter came over. I know
what you mean. I'm not going to say his name, but I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, of course, everyone does, but I just won't use the name. But his daughter came over, so he contacted me and he said, look, do you reckon there'd be any chance of getting a couple of tickets for her and her partner? I said, let me see what I can do. Within an hour, I had two secured for him. And, so I met up with them outside the stadium and gave her the tickets. And, well, I didn't personally get the tickets for her. In fact, it was Bose that got the tickets for her. And so, and then he escorted them into the stadium because they were in the same section as him. And they had a great time. But, that Bacca Topola game, that was brilliant. I was there. Loved it. I've already done that with me.
What's your opinion? What's your honest opinion, Budge, of be honest, Souček, take the goals away Yeah, I know he scored a few
Yeah.
goals, but honest opinion, taking the goals away, what do you think?
Mm. Okay, well, if I was to rate him as a player out of 10, I'd definitely give him a high 6, maybe a 7. I think that he's got something to offer. But the trouble is with him is that I don't think his passing's good enough. His
No.
tackling's good. I like his tackling ability. And as you said, his goal scoring ability is unquestionable. To be fair, I would put him as a squad player. If I was to keep him, if I was the manager, I'd have him as a squad player, and I would
Like an
probably
impact sub,
replace
yeah?
him. Yes, yeah, exactly that.
Mm.
And I would probably,
Yeah.
I would probably promote him up the field a bit more, not let him drop back so much, because he is dangerous in that box. Like the last 20 minutes of a game, you need a goal to get a draw or to get the win or whatever. Get him on there, because even if he don't score it, there's a good chance he'll assist it with a nod down or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think I would have him as a squad player. I wouldn't sell him right now because I think he'd probably come back and
Well,
bite us in the arse.
he just signed that three-year extension, didn't he? Come out the other day.
Yeah. Fair play to him and all.
The thing that winds me up with David Moyes is, whether it's kidology, is when he come out the other week and he said, we don't need a striker. We've got Bowen, Danny Ings, Mickey Antonio, and young Mabama. Is he for real? Is that for fucking real? Come on, isn't it?
Well, Bowen, yes, I can see that. But I mean, look, for me, I think the three most important attacking players that we've got right now is the front three that we've been using recently in Kudus, Paquetá, and Bowen. I'd like to see Bowen kept out on the right-hand side because that's where he's comfortable, that's where he's been dangerous, that's where he's been effective. I think Kudus is adaptable enough to be a left-sided attacker because he has got a decent left foot on him, he's got a decent right foot on him. And I think, Paquetá in the middle, not necessarily as a centre forward or as a false nine or whatever you want to call it, but in the 10 role. And I think, stick Mabama in front of him or even Mickey Antonio in front of him with the current squad that we've got now. Stick either of those two in front of him. And I think, I think things might happen because, let's be honest, Paquetá's delivery and his flair in the game gets you into attacking positions. I mean, look, that goal in the final for Bowen. I mean, what a fucking ball that was. I mean, that was an incredible ball.
I mean, the three players you mentioned.
Yeah.
You got to add one. You got to add, to me. You got to add me. You got to build this team, this Tim Steidten project, whatever. The three players you've named and Edson Alvarez are the four standout players, in my opinion, in that team.
Oh, I'd add another one to that and all.
Which one's that?
Emerson.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my hammer of the year, by the way. My hammer of the year, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
Mine
them
too.
Five.
Mine too. And
them five are quality.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, I remember when we first signed him, which wasn't that long ago, I know, but I'm an old man and I do forget a lot. But I remember when we first signed him on, a lot of the socials, you keep seeing things like, why do we want another Chelsea reject who don't get in the squad and this and that and this and that? And now they're all saying exactly what we're saying, hammer of the year for this season. So he's proven that, don't underestimate anybody, and to be fair, I think, Mad Vlad is another one of my favourite players. Not necessarily one of the best on the pitch, but gives his heart and soul to that shirt, and and I love him for it. And I think we got a better attacking prowess with him on the field. I just do. His delivery. What do
you think of Aguerd, Budge? I think he's a bit dodgy myself.
Yeah, of course. There's an incident in him, or whatever you want to call it. But I think generally he's a decent player. I just think he needs to tighten up his game a tad, you know. Remind everyone to vote for Kudus for Player of the Month in December and for Moyes as Manager of the Month. Yes, thank you, Helen. Thank you.
Do you know the only thing? Do you know the only thing that Kudus needs to do better, Budge? He's only got one away goal so far at Brentford. He needs to score more away from home.
Yeah,
that's what he needs to do.
Yeah. Happy says she's worried that Bowen's goals might dry up during AFCON. I don't think they will. I really don't think they will. I mean, he's still going to have
Lucas will be back soon.
Paquetá there delivering. He's still going to have Alvarez there delivering. He'll have, you know, Emerson banging down that left side, Stufal down the right. I think we'll be all right. I do. I really do think we'll be all right. I mean, don't you know, I'm a little bit worried. I don't want us to lose Kudus to anything, but you know, you just got to make the most of it when he's not there, haven't you?
Do you know, I'm a little bit worried about the Bristol City Cup game for some reason. It could be one of those, the West Ham way, losing 1-0 or something to a crap championship team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not really that worried. I've got to be honest. I think we've got enough in us to see that through. And I just want to give a big shout out actually to Duke from Forge from Iron. He got me a ticket for that game from as a birthday present for me, a little early birthday present or a late Christmas present, if you like. So he got me the ticket. So I want to say thank you to you, Duke. Bless you, mate. Appreciated that.
That's on Sunday, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I'm going to be going to Lewisham Tavern, which is Duke's pub. Going to have a couple there with him, and then travel up to the game with him and his family. So that'll be
what lovely. Is it? 2:00, Budge, or 2:30 kick-off?
I think it's 2:00.
2.
Do you know what? I don't actually know.
One of them, innit? Anyway.
Yeah, let me have a look. I'll have a look. Somebody will probably put it in the bloody chat first, anyway.
Look at this. I'm terrible for smoke. This is the third fag I've had since the show began.
Oh, mate, I smoke constantly. You know, I think this show should be being sponsored by Old Oban.
Benson Edges. Or whatever, yeah.
Sponsored by Old Oban.
So I said I watched a rerun of your show with Kieran today because I forgot about last night. Was it last night?
Wednesday. Yeah, last night, yeah. Yeah. That I always enjoy my time on screen with Kieran because
is he still in the chat? Is he still in the chat, Budge, or is he gone?
Probably, mate. He's probably there. He's probably running.
I was going to ask him, but you probably know. How long's he been in Aussie?
He's been out there 40 odd years, I think. 35, 40 years.
He's got a little twang to his voice, hasn't he? He's got a little Aussie twang.
Oh, yeah, he's still got his Cockney accent, hasn't he? FF is a lurker. Look. FF. Now, that's Happy's nickname for Kieran.
I see it. I see what she put earlier on this evening.
Fuckface. She calls him fuckface.
I made a comment.
2:00 kickoff, mate.
Right. Yeah, because I made a comment and then she wrote that in the group and I think it was you went, she's not calling you that. And I went, yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, mate. Yeah. What's she saying there? Not as a striker. Yeah. In the forward position, he needs quality support around him. Yes, agreed. We missed Vlad on Tuesday. Yes, we did. There you go. Helen's put 2:00. There you go.
There we go. But Moyes, to me, Moyes ruined strikers. Haller, Skamaka. I really wanted Skamaka to work, and for some reason,
but
didn't work.
Moyes has never done well with outright strikers, though.
No.
Has he? You know, I mean, even when he was at Everton all that time, what was it, 12 years he was with them for? He never really had a prolific striker. I mean, I suppose Tim Cahill was probably the closest he had to that. Who
did he have? Yakubu? Did he have Yakubu?
Yakubu? Yeah. I remember him. Yeah, but I mean, he relied more on his wingers and his midfield players to get the goals. So, you know, he's not changed his ways at all, really, to be fair.
Well, Souček's Souček's Fellaini, isn't he? He's Fellaini.
Yeah, that's it. Easy
That's what he is.
Fellaini, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, positive potato. That's how I feel about Sunday's game. Positive. Sent to me by
But you're going to do.
That's all.
You're going to do your. Was it? Oh, nice. What's your prediction? You're going to give a prediction then for Sunday?
I am. Yes, I'm going to go with a 4-0 win.
4-0.
Yeah, 1 goal in the first half and 3 in the second, and I'm going to put a fiver on that.
They'll bring a good little crowd, you know, Bristol City. They'll enjoy their day out, the fans.
Yeah, they got 9,000 coming. I think I've been told.
Is it? Blimey.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice because look. To be fair, a lot of the games I've been to at the London Stadium, because of the size of the stadium and that, the singing, the chanting, and all that is all a little bit disjointed. It's a bit disjointed because you got that crowd over there singing one song, you got that crowd over that side singing another, and you got us lot singing one, and them lot down the other end singing, and it's a little bit disjointed. But
are they not going to do a safe standing area? Weren't they going to do a safe standing area where you can have your little chants?
I'm hoping so. I think they've applied for permission from the Premier League to do that. But I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's been spoken about, but I don't know how far they've got with it. Kieran's just got back from the shop.
What'd you go and buy? Yes. What did you buy?
Probably Victoria beer. Probably. And maybe a bit of
possum stew. Bit of possum stew.
Possum stew. Yeah.
You know what? You know what's funny? He always has to mention the weather, doesn't he? Hey.
Yeah, it pisses me off. That I'm sitting here freezing my nuts off, and he's going. And then, as soon as we finished that stream last night, I'm gonna grass him up now. As soon as we finished the stream last night, I said to him, "I'll chat to you in the green room afterwards." He's like, "Yeah, okay, no problem." As soon as the stream ended, and we were off air, he whipped his shirt off. Oh God, it was horrible. Sorry. But anyway, he whipped his shirt off. He goes, "I'm fucking boiling here." He goes, "I can't do this anymore." Off it came, bless him.
Getting off topic, Budge, for a second. Did you remember that summer we had 2 years ago with the field fires when it was like 40 odd? They reckon we're going to get that this year. Be nice, wouldn't it? Then in the green room, then you can rip your shirt off to Kieran, can't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Good evening,
James. Jimbo. All right, James.
How are you, son? I hope you're well. Yeah, look,
James.
Report. 30 degrees.
Oh, here we go. Look, 30 degrees. James, James, did you see what happened to the pie and mash shop that we went in up at Eastbrook? The fella backed his car into it, Jimbo. Did you see it? Smashed it to fuck.
That was the one that was on all the social media, isn't it?
Yeah, New Year's Day in broad daylight. Well, I met Jim up there once with Jazz, and we went in there and had the old pie and mash. Yeah.
What?
Oh, you saw it, Budge?
Why you saw it? Yeah, I've seen it.
So you've seen it? Yeah. New Year's Day, that was.
Mate, why would they do it? Why would anyone do anything like that, you know?
30 degrees.
Yeah. So, let's talk, if you want to.
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm fine, yeah.
I mean, I did say it would be about an hour, but, you know, we're an hour and a quarter almost, so, you know, we're not too far. Yeah, is there anything you want to talk about? I mean, like your cousin or anything like that, you know, it's up to you. You can. If you.
Well, I said not naming names. Not naming names. He's not. He wasn't a West Ham player. You know, he was ex-Tottenham, Man City, Liverpool. He got around and all that, and played for England a couple of times as well. I think I've already told James. James knows who he is. But like I said, Budgie, if I can get him on for a 20-minute talk about football, I'll do my best. If that's all right with you.
Oh, I'd love to have him on. Yeah, I definitely would. And, you know, I've got to be honest with you. You know, the only other ex-professional that I could get on here is the man I mentioned earlier. You know,
do you remember his goals, Budge? Do you remember me cousins? Do you remember me cousin's goals? He used to score some quality goals as well.
Oh, to be fair, I do. And to be fair, I remember him scoring against us once.
He got a hat-trick at Upton Park in a 3-2 win for Luton. So,
yes. Yes,
Do you remember?
he did.
Yeah.
Yes, I do
And then
remember.
he went on
Yeah.
to
Didn't
work
he
for
score
Sky
against us
Sports.
for the Liverpool as well, though?
Yeah, after 30 seconds at Anfield in a 3-0 loss when we lost up there
That
3-0.
was it. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's enough clues now.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, just
What do you?
But so
Happy. Why are you? What are you questioning James about? That's unusual.
what I'm going to do, Budge, I'm going to give the phone call tomorrow, and we go from there. I'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. And we can do it at his convenience. There's no rush. There's no, you know what I mean. There's no pressure. He can.
Yeah. Whenever he's got a bit of time, you can set up a show. Come on, yeah.
Yeah. I just need an hour's notice, and then I can set it up and let everybody know. You know what I mean? It'd be nice. It really would be nice to have him on.
I'll say, and to my left is my ugly cousin.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah. Okay. So, any other little stories you want to share with us before we wrap it up?
There was, do you remember the thing where you used to you and your mates when you were little and you squeezed up to the turnstile so both of you got in, but it only clicked as one? Do you remember that, Budge?
Yeah. Mate, we used to send people underneath them. We used to send people underneath. And the old stewards would just stand there and go like that.
And I remember in 1978, I went to Craven Cottage, and that was another time I went on my own, and I was in the stand there where it was open. I'll never forget, it was his family, right? And they weren't your typical West Ham. They was a bit like middle-class supporters, right? They noticed I was on my own, and they was giving me coffee, sandwiches, crisps, and everything.
Brilliant.
Yeah, like the only thing there is the fan base is a bit diverse, isn't it? Not diverse. What's the word? Yeah.
It's a little bit disjointed at the moment in that respect, because there are many new fans to the club, which we'll welcome, and we love that. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are. If you support the Claret and Blue, you're part of the family, and I do like that. But do you know Richard Cox? Young Jake's dad, right?
Yeah.
So I chat to him quite a lot, and chat with Jake quite a lot, and actually I get on West Ham Unofficial quite regularly. He likes to have me on there. I don't know why, but he does.
Mike. Mike. Mike's from down south, isn't he? Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
Next time you speak to him, say, call him Nigel Worthington, because he's his double. Remember Nigel Worthington?
Yeah. And now you say it, I see it. Yeah. Say what you say. Yeah, definitely. But I was talking to Richard not too long ago, and he was talking to me about do you know what? I've completely lost fucking track where I was going then. Oh God. Oh yeah, that was it. I spent, I said to you, I went to the Brighton game. I spent the afternoon with Jake and Rich, and it was really nice. I got a lovely picture of me in the crowd, and that which Richard took. And he's such a decent guy, Richard, and he kind of, I don't know what it is. He was telling me the other day that he loves going to the away games more than the home games, which I can understand. But we were chatting the other night, and I say the other night, a few weeks ago, and he travels up from bloody Somerset and goes to places like Newcastle and stuff like that. Absolutely dedication, mate. I love that.
Do you watch all the channels? Do you watch all the channels, Budge? Yeah.
I do watch most of them. I'm subscribed to them all. I do. But the thing is, you don't get enough hours in the day to catch every single show. So there are like 2 or 3 that I watch regularly. And as you know, I appear on West Ham Network on a Wednesday night with Kieran, and we do the Old School Hammers show, which incidentally is sponsored by Cass and the Old School clothing company, which he created. So I mean, I get to watch a lot of the West Ham Network stuff. I watch a lot of the Hammers chat stuff. I watch a lot of the West Ham Fan TV stuff. E20 Zone, I watch a lot of his stuff as well.
Do you ever watch C&B, Claret and Booze? I like them as well. Some people don't.
Yeah, with Nick and Gary and them guys. Yes, I do.
Yeah. I've been on the phone with them.
I phone in sometimes and get to chat with them on the phone. And yeah, but last time I was on there because of the way I was brought up. Whenever I write to somebody, if it's somebody I'm not really that familiar with, I always say, "Oh, best regards, Budgie," or "Best regards, Clive." So he put me thing up on there, and it was Budgie, best regards. I was like, "You dick." This caller is Budgie, best regards. Yeah, I do watch them quite a lot actually, and Missy's one of their moderators, so I can't not go in there, really, can I? You know what I mean?
I think she does. Don't she moderate for Friday Night Pint as well?
Yeah, that's she it. Yeah. Am I coming to Bristol? Yes, I am. I'm coming with Duke and Joe and Grace, and I'll remember his name in 2 seconds. Logan. That's it. Yeah, I'm coming with them, Happy. So yes, we will see you. Definitely. I'm not sure we'll be able to get the kids into the Carpenters though. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm definitely coming. So yes, we will see you there. Okay. Anything else you want to mention, mate?
Do you reckon how many players do you reckon we'll get in the window, if any?
Probably one, maximum two. And I think one of
I don't believe them Eric Dyer stories, and I bloody hope it ain't true.
I hope they're not true, and I wouldn't want Flathead either, Slabhead either. No, I wouldn't want him either. And we know a song about him, don't we, Happy?
Take it away.
I created a song, right, and it was just taking the piss. The song "Got the Whole World in His Hands."
The
whole world in. Yeah, so I sing, "You can land a jump jet on his head. You can land a jump jet on his head. You can land a jump jet on his head. Jump jet on his head." And then
did you see Happy? You see her last comment about a year to the passing of David Gold? They had a ceremony over Rush Green Training Ground. Not sure if it was today or yesterday. That's only 20 minutes from me up the road. That is a training ground.
Yeah. I hadn't realised that either, Happy. Thank you for mentioning it. Yeah, commiserations again to the family. And
what a sea of knowledge! What a sea of knowledge that girl is, eh?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, she's great. She knows more about West Ham than I do, mate.
Well, she's promised me a pint. She's promised me a pint whenever I turn up. You watch what she says now.
Yeah.
Well, so yes, Happy that was early. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, there's not much else we can really go into as far as your West Hamness is concerned. I think we've all established you're a staunch West Ham fan. Always have been. Always.
Yeah. Well, some people say, "Oh, you ain't been for 2 years," but once it's in the blood, it's in the blood. You know what I mean?
Mate, listen. I've spoken to West Ham fans around the world. Okay, and by doing the YouTube, and one of my favourite West Ham fans, sadly no longer with us. Do you remember Peach?
Oh yeah.
God rest his soul. He actually got me into doing the YouTubing stuff. I did a little guest slot on Network once, and he watched it and invited me onto Random, gave me the keys to the office basically, and said to me, "Just crack on and do whatever you want to do." And then I said to him later, I wanted to. I wouldn't mind starting my own little channel, just for a bit of a giggle. And he was like, no, don't do it as a giggle, mate. You know, it's there. You do it. You're, you know, and he gave me so much support and backing on it. It was brilliant. But yeah, he was a lovely guy.
Another thing about this, I won't say what they told me, but do you remember the chants we used to do in the always? Like the one to the Tottenham fans. You do that now, you're nicked, you're out of the stadium, like
God,
too much political correctness, isn't it? Like, do you remember? I won't say it, but do you remember the one we used to sing to them about gassing? Do you remember that one?
Oh God, yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
You've been doing that now.
I never really liked that one, though, I've got to be honest. I never liked it.
Oh, she's gonna buy. She's gonna buy me a pint. Look, did you see that? She'll buy me a pint.
Yeah. She says I stick to my word, and she does. Honestly,
yeah.
That woman there, when she gives her word, it's concrete. Trust me. I've known her now for 3 years, and we've become very close friends, really good friends. You know, not that close.
Look at that FF. FF. That's the weather dude.
Yeah, and then he's replying, hot. Yeah.
I mean, even when it's their winter time, it's still like 20 odd degrees, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they get a winter. Ain't he invited you over yet, Budge, for a piss up?
Oh, Kieran?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's told me many times, if you get your ass over here, get over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's told me that many times. The trouble is with me is that I don't earn enough money to warrant me spending 5-6 grand on a fucking holiday. Do you know what I mean? It was bad enough.
Well, we'll have to get him over to Blighty, won't we? He's loaded anyway, isn't he?
Well, he was over here year before last, or last year maybe even. I took my daughter up to London with me to go and meet up with him, and he had his young boy Kieran with him. And we had a few beers in the pub and that, and he was with, you know, some of his family and that, and we had a really nice day. It was really good. And then my daughter turned on me after we left the pub, and then fucked off and left me in London. Good job she had her own ticket with her. God almighty.
Yeah, but just before you go, I'll do this quick, right? Yeah. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Is that all right? Yeah. So, who was your favourite ever West Ham goalkeeper?
There is only one for me. Well, actually, not strictly true. Not strictly true. My favourite ever goalkeeper at West Ham has to be Shaka Hislop for me. Love the guy to bits. But a very, very, very close second is Craig Forrest. Not because he was like the greatest goalkeeper in the world or anything like that. But he was never a bad keeper. He was a great keeper, I thought. But I've got to know him personally, so I really love the guy. I mean, he's got a great sense of humour. Yeah. He's got a great sense of humour. He's honest and forthright and loves the club. He also, in equal measure, loves Ipswich, who he started his career with, because he came over from Canada as a 16-year-old and went straight to Ipswich, and he went through the process at Ipswich, and then we bought him after he did a loan spell at Chelsea. That's right. And,
if you go on an old 4-4-2 system, who would be your favourite ever back four? That's an hard one, isn't it?
That's tough. Yeah. God, blimey, you're sounding like Russ. What am I doing? My hammer's 11.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Well, I would probably go left back. I'd have to have Piercy, I think. Stuart Pearce. I think, it has to be Stuart Pearce for me, left back. In the centre, I'd go Rio and...
You want to have Bobby Moore in there?
Yeah, I probably would actually. Rio and Bobby Moore. Yeah. I was going to put Bob in the midfield four, but really and truly, he should be in the back four, shouldn't he? Yeah, and then right back. Who would I go with right back? Jenkinson. I loved him.
Cole Jenkinson.
I loved Cole Jenkinson.
Did you?
He was fantastic. Yeah, what a character. He's the
right.
Your
midfield two.
Midfield.
It's got to be Trevor Brookings. Got to be 1A.
Yeah. I think if we're going 4-4-2. I think out on the
Yeah.
left-hand side would have to be Dimitri Payet. Have to be.
Not Devonshire. I'd have Devo in there on the left.
Good shout, massive shout. But for me, it would have to be Dimitri. I think I can remember more about Dimitri Payet's time here than I can Alan Devonshire.
Wouldn't you have Payet in the centre though, with Brooking as a pair?
No.
Huh?
No. I'd have Payet on the left, Devonshire. Brooking, and I don't know.
Paolo. What about Paolo? Di Canio.
He'd be up front. He'd be up front.
Yeah.
With Dean Ashton. Yeah, I suppose the other central position, I don't know, really. That's a real tough one for me.
Isn't it? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's fucking hard. And I mean, I can't even think who I'd have out on the right wing, if I'm honest with you.
I'd choose Wardy because he was a tiger, little Wardy.
Mark Wald, yeah. See, I'm forgetting about Cotty, McAvenny. Yeah, I'd stick Stuart Slater next to Brooking.
Yeah.
In the middle. Yeah.
Jeff Hurst could be up front, wouldn't he? Yeah.
He could be, yeah. See, we're forgetting about him. We're forgetting about
David Cross.
Martin Peters in the number 8 position.
Yeah.
David Cross, what a great player he was. You know,
Paul Goddard.
So many you could have. Yeah. There's just so many of them.
Think of the shit ones though, Budge. Benny McCarthy, Alex Bunbury. Remember them?
Oh,
yeah. John Radford couldn't score one. John Radford couldn't even get a goal, could he?
I know, yeah. And then you got all the foreigners that came over. And I don't
good memory. Look at that. Good memory for an old fucker, Steve.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. And he would say that live on the show as well. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna know. No,
it seems like a right decent bloke. I only see him for the first time the other week when I see him on the show with you.
Yeah. He's funny as fuck. One of my favourite people in the world. I've got to be honest, because, like I said, he's not very politically correct, and he says it as he sees it. And yeah, I love that. I love honesty in people, Steve. You know, that's me. That's why I do this, because, you know, I get to hear the stories from guys like you, and you know, and I like the honesty that comes with it. You know. So yeah, that's why Kieran's one of my favourite people, you know, because I love the honesty that he has, you know.
Do you reckon, Budge? Do you reckon Sullivan will ever sell, or do you reckon he'll give it to the boys like he said?
I think he'll probably pass it down. Look, Happy. Do you know what that means?
My screen's so low, I've got to squint to see it.
Right. All right. So she's put up a little, what do you call it, emoji of a tongue. So basically, she's telling me to get my tongue out of Kieran's arse.
Oh, okay. What's she calling you, a brown? What's she calling you, a brown nose? Is that what she's trying to say?
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, that's it. Dale Gordon, there's a name. Fucking.
Oh, he was crap, wasn't he? Dale Gordon.
Wasn't he just? And who's that young Caleri? Jonathan Caleri. He weren't great.
Jonathan Caleri. How about Zaza? Another one, wasn't it? Zaza Gabor. Yeah.
I loved his name. I thought his name was absolutely one of the best names I'd ever heard of.
Simeone Zaza.
To be one of the worst players we ever fucking signed. Yeah, Sofian Faguli.
That was another one.
Yeah.
And going back further, do you remember Derek Howes?
Yeah, as far as, you know, like my favourite 11, I mean, I've given you, you know, one of my favourite 11s, if you like. There are so many players I would put in. You know, like you said, I've missed out Jeff Hurst. You know, God, what's his name? Ex-Fulham manager. God bloody hell, what's his frigging name? Scotty Parker. What a player he was. Yeah. Do
you remember Van der Elst, Budge?
Yes. Yeah. I do.
Another 2 goals against us. Yeah, I do. Francois Van der Elst.
Yeah. And do you remember a young guy called Scott Mean that played for us?
Yeah, MEAN. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he grew up just round the corner from, not here, but from where I used to live in Crawley. He grew up there, and you know, we used to play football with his dad, you know, and when he got signed for West Ham, mate, it was like we'd all been signed for him. Do you know what I mean? Because we all knew young Scotty when he was growing up. You know, I remember him as a 6-year-old kid nutmegging like 20-year-old blokes and stuff. He was an incredible player, but he just never really made it at West Ham. Unfortunately,
where did he go after West Ham? Where did he go after West Ham?
Bournemouth, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Scotty. Yeah. And so did what's his name? Slates. He went to Bournemouth as well, didn't he? They used to love nicking our midfielders, didn't they?
Do you remember Radochoiu and Dumitrescu and Futre?
Yeah, yeah.
Harvey Nichols, wasn't it? Harvey Nichols, he went shopping.
Oh, look, Helen's come up with a corker, Roberto.
Roberto, yeah. How about him, though, Budge? Marco Boogers, remember him?
Oh, God. I was hoping you were going to forget about him.
And that tackle on Gary Neville, didn't
he? Yeah, he was fucking great. I loved him. Oh, he was brilliant. Right, listen, we've been over an hour and a half and I've taken up plenty of your time, but this won't be the last time I'll invite you on, Steve. Next,
anytime.
I'll tell you what, if Kieran's all right with it, which I'm sure he will be, he'll let me know in a minute. Why don't you come on to Old School Hammers on Wednesday night?
Definitely, mate, yeah.
You up for that?
What's that, about 10:30? Yeah, I'm up for that.
It'll be about an 10:30 kickoff on Wednesday. Yeah, we usually do it.
I'm actually going to my friends on Saturday, but I'm coming back Monday or Tuesday, so I'll be definitely here Wednesday.
Yeah, all right, brilliant. Okay.
And I'll wind Jack Hargreaves up.
Yeah. Bring a fly.
If you're still there, Jack, if you're still in the chat, Jack, if you fancy a bit of that Wednesday, mate, I'm there. I don't know if he's going to reply.
You know, and the thing is, I like having guests on every now and again. It makes it a little bit more interesting for everyone else. You know?
I appreciate you putting me in the group today and letting me come on tonight. Thanks very much.
Well, no, that's fine. I mean, that group is really for this channel. You know what I mean? I haven't invited anybody in there that hasn't got any involvement in this channel as such. You know what I mean? And because I knew I was going to invite you on, I invited you onto the channel, onto the chat. And not only that, it also helps you to, you know, communicate.
Well, the actual story,
like-minded
the actual story of the day, Budge, was I Facebook message Happy, right, and asked if you was on Facebook, because I didn't know your name was Clive. When I checked my Facebook, you was already on the friend list, and that's how today started. And that's what's led to tonight, which is great.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you know, because I either accept friend requests from West Ham fans, or I'll request West Ham fans. So I've either requested you or you've requested me, one way or another.
I just didn't know your name was Clive until Happy told me.
Just because you knew I was a West Ham fan, you either sent a request or accepted mine. You know, but I couldn't even tell you how long we've been friends on Facebook for. Kieran says, "Come on, Steve, we'll be good." Yeah,
nice one.
So Kieran's up for it. You're up for it. I'm up for it. Brilliant. Happy says McKnight.
Oh, Alan McNightmare. Yeah.
Alan McNightmare. That was it.
Oh, Budge, a quick one.
Yeah.
You know Mervyn Day? Yeah. I've just remembered
Fantastic
it.
Keeper.
1976, I was in the South Bank Tottenham League Cup replay, and he was off his line and he got chipped for a goal. And everyone's going, Mervyn, on your line. He turned around to the to us lot at the front. And he went, "Why don't you lot piss off?" and stuck his fingers up us. Mervyn Day, because when he got married, that ruined him. That's what people said. When he got married and started having a dip with the missus, it fucked him up.
Kieran says, "Out of Town." Was that the show? Yes, it was, mate. That was the show. It was Out of Town. I loved that show. I loved it. It was great. I mean, 1 minute he'd be telling you how to whittle down a bit of wood so that it would you can use it as a peg or whatever, and then the next minute he'd be fly fishing or administering first aid to a sheep or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It was brilliant. I loved that show.
Do you remember Hargreaves was on?
Hang on, mate. You just really broke up then. Missed all that.
Oh, do you Do you remember? All right, can you hear me all right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the other show that Jack Hargreaves was on? Here's a tester for you. Showing me age now, haven't
How will
I?
I
Got it
remember that?
with Fred Dinage.
That's
I
it.
thought I was going to kick
Yeah.
you out then.
How? That's how we're going to
Fred
greet him
Dinage.
from now on. Well, I'm not going to say hello, Kieran. I'm going to go, how?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I
But Fred
remember that.
Dinage
And
was
then,
a
and then
school
years
genius.
later, they revamped it, didn't they? With that, what was that kid's name? Gaz Top.
Yeah,
About
that was rubbish.
20 years or 30 years ago. Yeah, that was bollocks. It weren't as
Yeah, but just
nowhere
where you go,
near as
look,
good.
this will make you laugh.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Please, sir. I do, yes. John Alderton.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Derek
I used to love
Guyler
that.
was Potter. Derek Guyler.
Yeah, that was it. Derek Guyler. Yeah, what a great bloke he was. Met him.
They don't make them like they used to.
No. I'll tell you what, one of the best experiences I've ever had was I was working for a cab firm in Crawley, out of Crawley Station, and train pulled in. I was the first in line to go. Geezer walks up to my car, gets in, shuts the door, in the passenger seat. And I didn't really like people being in the passenger seat because I always used to have my little, I used to have this spring-loaded coin holder, which used to fit down the side of my seat. And it had pound coins, 50p's and 20p's in it and that. And I never used to like, but this guy looked all right. He was like middle-aged, getting on a bit, probably in his early 60s, maybe mid-60s at the time. And he got in the car and he said to me, I said, "And where are you going to, mate?" And he said one of the hotels around the area. And I said, "Oh, okay. What, you flying out tomorrow or whatever?" And he was like, yeah, I'm going. So he started chatting. He goes, "You haven't recognised me, have you?" And I went, "No, not really." He said, "You might not know me." And I was like, "Hold on a minute, that face looks fucking familiar." And he's like, "Yeah, go on." And I thought about it for about 5 minutes. And I went, "Jesus, you're Norman Wisdom." And he went,
Normal
"Yeah, that's
wisdom,
right."
yeah.
Yeah.
Mr.
He went, "That's right."
Grimsdale.
Yeah. He says to me,
Yeah, brilliant.
he said, how long's your shift last? How long you working for? I said, "Well, actually, I'll finish in about half hour." He said, "Knock off 20 minutes earlier." He said, "And come into the hotel and have a drink with me in the bar."
Yeah,
All right.
lovely.
So I spent 2.5 hours in the bar with him and had to get a cab home because I was fucking arsehole.
What a story, eh? What a classic.
Oh, it's brilliant. And then some years later, I had a bit of a problem with somebody, and he owed me some money for a car that I'd sold him, and it was about 800 quid he owed me, and I was like, on at him and on at him and on at him. Didn't turn up with the money. So I went round, knocked on his door. He opened the door, give him one on the nose. I said, "Pay me my fucking money," and walked off. And then about 3 days later, I came home from work, and my flat, I lived in Horsham at the time. My flat, my front door was literally in splinters, and painted on the wall was, "You're getting fuck all." And I thought, okay, I know who that is. So I thought, right, I want to get out of this flat. Not because of that, but it was a tiny, pokey little flat, and I didn't like it there, and I didn't like the area I was in. So I thought, I'm going to use this to get out. So I phoned the police, reported that someone had broken in my house and this and that. And they were like, "What's this mean? You're getting fuck all?" And I said, "I have no idea. I mean, maybe this is a case of mistaken identity or something, but I'm worried. I'm scared. Can you get me out of here?" They stuck me in this temporary accommodation down in Stenning, which is down near Shoreham. And while I was there, I went into the local pub, which is called the White Horse, and I was sitting there one Friday afternoon. Like I've always done on a Friday, I like to have a beer because it's the end of the week. I feel like I've fucking earned it, So I'm sitting there having a beer. This lady comes over. She says, "There's not many tables. Do you mind if my husband and I sit with you at your table?" I was like, "Not at all. Not at all." Sitting there drinking. Big hairy hand comes, puts a pint down, puts a glass of wine down, looks up, Bob Hoskins.
Oh, right,
I spent 4 hours in that pub with them two. Absolutely smashed. I mean, I could
Yeah.
hardly stand up. Neither could Bob, to be fair. And his missus, now I can't remember her name. It was either Jackie or Janice or something like that. I can't remember her name now. She said, "Oh, how are you getting home?" I said, "Oh, it's all right. I only live about 400 yards away." She goes, "Oh, that's a long way. It's raining. I'll drop you off. We'll drop you off." Me thinking they're going to get a cab, you know. I think he was living in Bramber at the time, which was the next little village along, about 3 miles away, 2 miles away or something. So anyway, we walks outside. She opens up this fucking Jag door and says, "Jump in." I'm like, "You're not driving. You've probably done 2 bottles of wine." She's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Drove me home all the way back to my flat, and then they buggered off. You know what I mean? And I never saw him again after that. But what a night that was! It was brilliant. Fucking loved it.
Two brilliant movies. Normal Wisdom and Bob Hoskins, eh? Brilliant.
I know, yeah, all within about 3 or 4, maybe 8 weeks of each other. You know what I mean? It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not 8 weeks ago. Yeah, no, actually, that was probably about 3 years. Actually, to be honest with you. Right, this is way before my time. She said, "Yeah, of course it is." Carol Vorderman.
Carol Vorderman now.
Yeah, that was when Gaz Top. That was when Gaz Top did it years later after all the others.
Yeah.
Only a beer at the end of the week, Smugs. Well, back then I was drinking quite a lot, but I insisted on Fridays, and I still do actually. I still try and get over to my local every Friday. You know, whether it's only for one or a skimful. You know, I try and get over there every Friday.
It's a dying trade now, though, Budge, isn't it? Dying trade, isn't it?
Yeah. And to be fair, the guy who runs my local, he's had me in DJing and stuff for a few years as well. But he hang on one second. Thank you, Kieran. See you on Wednesday, mate. Talk to you soon.
See you later, mate.
See you Wednesday.
See you then.
Yep, take care.
Yep,
he's an Asian guy, but what a fantastic bloke. I mean, he will put on anything for anyone. He's had Brazilian dancers on over there, comedians, live bands and all that. He don't charge at the door or nothing, you know what I mean? It was just, he's just such a good landlord. Yeah, I mean, he's that good that there was one particular night I fell asleep at the bar, sitting on a bar stool, my head on the bar, fell asleep. And he left me there for about an hour and a half. I mean, the pub probably closed about half an hour before he woke me up. I mean, they were running around with Hoovers and stuff by the time he woke me up. And he says to me, "Come on, Clive, you got to go." I said, yeah, I know, I've got to go. And I stood up, fucking fell over, and I stood up again and stumbled. And he went, "Hang on a minute." He got 2 of his staff members to walk me home. I only live about 150 yards away from the pub, but he's that good a bloke, you know what I mean? So now, even on the nights when I ain't got any money on me, yeah, I know that I could go into that pub and say to him, "Come on, get us a beer, bruv." And he go, yeah, go and get yourself a beer. Go round and pour it yourself, irritating me. You know what I mean? Trust me, you know.
That's good,
so, you know, so, but that pub there has been a pub since 1790. Yeah, it used to be.
A few years.
Yeah, it used to be on the main route. I mean, the Brighton Road, as it's called now, used to be the old A23 that ran from London to Brighton. So all of the, all of the traffic down to the south coast used to go past that pub, and it, like, even right back in the days of like horse and carriage, I'm sure you and I both remember them days. But I mean, I've seen photographs of the pub with like a line of tanks in the car park, where like they were going down for getting ready for the D-Day invasions and that, and like I don't know, there's half a dozen tanks in the car park with like all the soldiers must have been in the pub having a beer and that. But
Place, the place has got a lot of history.
Crazy. Yeah,
A lot of
crazy, but
yeah.
it's a great pub. Absolutely great pub.
Mm.
Anyway,
Good.
right, let's not talk about pubs anymore because I'm gagging now. Gagging. Right, brilliant. Steve,
Well,
thank you
mate,
so much for coming in and sharing this story, mate.
1 hour,
Really
1 hour,
appreciate
50 minutes. We've done well there, haven't we? We've done well there.
Yeah, we have. Considering I only asked you for an hour of your time, I appreciate you giving me the extra.
That's right, mate. And
Brilliant.
I'll
And
enjoy coming on Wednesday if that's all right.
yeah, and we'll be in touch during the week. I mean, you know, we're in the same group chats and stuff. So,
And then,
but yeah,
since I find
definitely
out
for
about my cousin,
Wednesday.
if he can do it, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yes, and like I said, you know, please tell him there is no pressure on it. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, if he can come on if he wants to, and you know, we'll talk about his career a little bit. But also it'd be nice to get to know him as well, you know, a little bit. So yeah, please do let me know. Keep me in touch, and we'll definitely do something. Definitely. Okay.
And I've got to say again, thanks for letting me come on tonight, mate. Appreciate it.
It's an absolute pleasure, mate. I've really enjoyed it. I'm sure everyone in the chat's enjoyed it, and I hope people that watch it later on enjoy it too, because you know it's great to see just two old farts talking bollocks and getting away with it.
Well, there'll be three of us. There'll be three of us on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. There'll be three, maybe even the fourth, if and
you know what I mean.
Sometimes pops in.
You know what I mean by this. When I see old Hargreaves, I'm going to rib him on Wednesday. Don't worry about that. I'm going to get him.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he might find some dirt on you. You never know.
You never know. Anyway, Budgie,
right,
cheers,
brilliant.
mate. Thanks very much.
No, absolutely
really enjoyed
pleasure,
it,
mate. And what I'll do is I'll just play a little video for us to end the stream on when I can find one. There it is, and I will chat to you real soon, buddy. Take care, everybody. Cheers, in chat. Stay safe, and
come on, you irons.
Don't forget to click a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and come on, you irons.
See you later, mate. Bye.